So I've had this super productive day, and I ended up going into town. So I had done some shorts trying to show the sky. It's really hard because while you're driving, there's no place to pull over because it's a state highway. And then when you get into town, you know, for me as a brain injury person, I got to pay attention to the road, and you know, it's a lot more chaos. So I tried to do some shorts to show like some of the weird stuff, but I don't think the video really shows, you know, like just the fact that the horizon line is the lightest part of the sky is just like, okay, I don't know what reality, but I'm not even shitting you how you can see the layers of the clouds in these different systems, and the way that illumination disc thing, it could be the moon for all I know, and they're shining something on it to blind us. But when I was trying to get that video, then I started driving, and all of the lights, like the headlights and everything, looked bright pink. I was like, man, I don't know what that light is that they're doing. I mean, it's like an I don't know all the different kinds of lights and tones and what they know, you know. I mean, they're highly sophisticated, way beyond what our comprehension of technology is. And, you know, the same with the frequency. And since they know about consciousness and spirits and souls and all this stuff, you know they can fuck with some of us with the frequency. And oh my God, I can't even tell you how hard I've been being hit for the past few weeks with the frequencies. Like it totally like stabbed you in the ear. It's really painful. And one of the days I was telling my daughter, I'm like, do you hear that? Because you keep on thinking, people have got to hear this. Like, what? And she's like, no, you can't hear things that are inside someone else's head. I was like, it's not in my head. It's stabbing through my ears. Do you know what frequency? Anyways, so I went out to shovel earlier, you know, and when I did, oh my gosh, that is good exercise. I swear to God, I know I've talked about this a long time ago, but we would never need any gyms or anything like that if we just went out and started living life again, because there's all this natural exercise all around. Go out and shovel a freaking driveway, a foot of wet. It's been raining and it's been kind of melting, so it was like heavy slush. Especially this is weird anyways, kind of came down as like heavy slush. I mean, this is weird, but it's like artificial. And so that is good exercise, I'll tell you. I was sweating my ass off. I had to take my coat off. And so I got that done, and that was a lot of work. Then driving out of here, the roads were, you know, pretty shitty. But once you got out to the state highway, it was totally clear. There wasn't even any ice or anything. It was raining, so it was just wet. You could totally go fast, and because the temperature's high, it's not icy at all. And then the illumination disc thing starts like blinding you. It's so weird. And the way that the clouds and everything are moving, it's just so weird. But so I went to go to the store, and the roads were so clear, I decided, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the doctor because I have to pick up these papers that you know, for the insurance to show them I'm still disabled. They are on top of that, boy. They do not want to give you money. And so I had to go get those papers. And when I got there, then, oh, this was something too I wanted to say. Because I chose to get my blood drawn, because I kind of want to know about the Hep C thing. I just want to see. And so she was checking that again. And then they always want you to come in for these, not every insurance company, but once you get to a certain age, they want you to come in all the time so they can catch something, so they can put you on medicine. And so, you know, you get these labs, and they want you to come in for a yearly physical. And so she wanted me to come in for that physical, and so she ordered some labs. But the Hep C was the one I wanted to just, I just want to make sure again. I don't see how, if the antibodies are there, the antibodies have already killed it. That's how it works. Whatever thing comes into your body, then your body has its own mechanisms that kick into gear to fight it. And that's why wearing these and stuff is just so crazy. It diffuses your immune system, it's depleting it, and it's making people not breathe deep enough, which is making them more prone to having lung infections. So it's just, but you can't tell people. They have to experience things just in life, man. So when I went in to get the blood draw, right, the kid, you could just kind of tell he was just so nervous. And so he's just, trying to make small talk. And it's just so funny because people who are, in certain situations with this awkward small talk that they start where they're not paying attention. They just want you to think they're kind of like focused on you, but really they're just like focused on their own, him panicking over, what is he doing? He had to keep asking questions to another person. And, they don't get a lot of hep C tubes, I guess. So a lot of stuff was confusing him on the thing. And then when he went to go put the needle thing in, oh my gosh, he's just digging around. And he's got the smallest needle, but still, I mean, you feel it. And he's digging around. And he's just like, oh, stopping. And then he's trying some more. And I mean, your initial instinct is like, dude, fucking get the goddamn needle out. God, get somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. And, I mean, a lot of people react that way. And I think, to me, being on the other side, being in his position and having to, learn how to go in and poke needles in people and get blood out of them and stuff like that, it is very nerve-wracking. And people are panicky to have you do that. So when you start getting really mad at somebody, then not only do you fuck up that little scenario that's going on and possibly the person in the next room and who's drawing them, because everybody goes into like, their heart starts pounding and everybody gets nervous. But it's like for the rest of the day even. And then you kind of have put that in that person's head. So then every time they go in to try again, then they go into that kind of panic, like, oh my God, I'm going to get yelled at. I'm going to, like Pavlov's theory kind of thing. Like, so, even though it's frustrating, I just was like, okay, I'm not going to make everything worse, This is bad enough. This is my experience at this point for this day to get my blood drawn is going to be this little thing, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this kid's going to learn something from this, and me not yelling at him will help it sink in. But, it helps people to do better when we're not yelling at them and we're not getting mad at them. I mean, that's one thing. People are just so kind of mean to other people. If you're making me wait, if you're doing this or doing that, just like people pulling out on the road, that just pull right out in front of you. And, we've all done it, but it's just a dickish thing to always put ourselves like, I'll go faster. Who cares if I just pull out in front of you? But when we're on the other side and we're having someone pull out in front of us, we know it feels like shit. Like, don't pull out in front of people. Damn, there's like nobody behind them. It's like, why do we get so like, I gotta hurry. But anyways, that's just that little tidbit. And then while I was driving, I was thinking about, it's weird because I feel like I can see, and I think this just comes as part of the awakening or something. So I don't think it's like a special gift for just me. I think that there's other people too. But I think one of the reasons I can see through this bullshit with people, why it's so hard for me to interact and stuff, is because I can see through it. Like, I can see people playing games. I can see people in denial. I can see people, enjoying toxic, judgment and controlling and all that stuff. You see it and it's so clear, but I don't think they see it. That's the thing. I don't think they see it. I think when you're in the game so deep that you have no awareness of these things. So I was just thinking about that. And so, you know, the more that we become aware is another thing too, all about, you know, going up in the dimensions, like how we think, you know, we think it's like an escalator or something, but really it's a way of thinking, it's a state of being. And in the higher dimensions, it's the loss of judgment and it's more unified. And that's why we have to release so much stuff to move up to that. It is, there's not a way to be in that state of mind and hold on to anger, judgment, resentment. You're going to have toxic, Stella, I'm talking, toxic ways of interacting, you know. So I was thinking, you know, that's another thing I think that we just need to have in our awareness. It's like we're making a new toolbox for ourselves, really, of new tools of how to interact with each other. And we're breaking free from, you know, this woke world of, you know, don't hurt my feelings, but you need to do everything to make me comfortable. Be in denial of yourself, you know, don't be too much of you, unless you are just completely over the top, you don't know what sex you are, or you're, you know, it's the hypocrisy of this weird kind of, it's just weird, but it's, the whole thing is people just waking up in their own speed. And it just seems like it does feel alien. Like we already are interacting with all aliens and stuff. Nobody understands each other. So anyways, after I was driving and I was thinking a lot about that, and plus looking at the sky and just being like, "This fucking," you know, you start thinking about art class and learning about the horizon line and stuff. And it's I don't know. I just don't even know anymore in this weird reality, like what people even think or see. Like, who knows if people even see the same shit, you know? But so then I went to go get water, and when I went to go get there, it's a good thing I went there last, because if I went there first, I would have thought the rest of the roads were that bad. It was really, really bad. As soon as you got the last roundabout, there's roundabouts everywhere here. The last roundabout, that's what we call them. I don't know if that's what they call them everywhere. It's just one of those circles. Instead of stop signs, you just do a circle and you have to merge in. It ends where I'm at, and then it splits off, so the state highway ends there, and then you go towards my house, there's another state highway that's even smaller, but so it's maintained too. So those two are, but the one going towards further up the mountain, it doesn't seem to be as well maintained. Like, I don't know, maybe if there's a lot of people going up to ski, sometimes you see, because they all have the things on top of their cars. And when I just went just now, I didn't see any. But so the storm's probably pretty bad up there. We were under a winter storm thing until 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's almost, it was like 1:30. So, I don't know, there's probably not a lot of skiers. But, so the roads were way worse. And then, especially when I turned on the one to go get the water, that is a road that gets closed down all the time with the flood, with all this stuff. A windstorm would be knocked down because of the trees, the floods, the waters crossing, the snow. Like, it's just not, but it's a very used road out here. It goes a pretty long distance. So anyways, I went to go on the part where I thought I would be the shortest time on that road, because it's not that far off. And it was so icy, and it's like snow, ice pack, melt with water over the top. And if you've never driven on that, it is like driving on slick ice. It's so slippery. And there's, I mean, even the slush or whatever is just, it's like ice pack. Probably because it's so artificial. Anyway, so when I got up there was another guy getting water. And it took me so many, like, turning, you know, in the road, but there was no cars anywhere. And so I got up there, and then I was like, fuck, I don't want to get stuck out here. There's not even any people around. And so I asked the guy if he would wait until I got done. And so he let me go ahead and fill mine. And he said he would wait to make sure I got out. And then I sat and waited to make sure he got out. But I just, you know, I feel like that's the kind of, I mean, the guy was just so nice. Very, very nice. And I think that, you know, they want to always keep us divided. I mean, I didn't have anything in common with this guy. Well, we both had dogs and we both like water. But, you know, he was young. I don't know him from around here or anything, you know, but it was very nice. He even offered to carry my water jugs, which I like to do that stuff because I like to do, like, go out and shovel my own driveway. I don't want some guy coming up and being like, oh, if I go shovel her driveway, maybe she'll go out with me. And that's kind of like, that's kind of what is, you know, I don't want, but I kind of get that kind of thing, you know. And it's crazy too, because I started thinking, oh man, should I even say that? Because you don't really ever know who comes on and watches your videos, you know, like a neighbor's good. And then that would be, well, I'm not going to be here all the time anyways. I mean, I'm just trying to fix this house up for a vacation house and an Airbnb or whatever, travel, you know, one of those circuit houses, whatever. But there is, I don't know, when people try and get close to you or whatever, to me, I feel like I'm already in a relationship, like, because even if it's like in a soul thing and you know it in your soul, and you know, you have these people, like, I don't know where everybody else is yet at this point, but I've got other people coming in my dreams, like literally coming in my dreams. I've had people's dead parents come in my dreams. Like there's something, I think it's magical, really. I think that we've just been so misguided, but I think it's exciting for where we're headed to. But, you know, I already feel like I'm in a committed relationship. I've felt like that for 5 years. So I've already feel like I am. And then I started thinking, that's kind of like if, you know, you were a nun and you're like, well, I'm in a committed relationship with the Lord. Because on a soul level, you know, you are already committed to somebody else, even if they're not here. But that is, the more you connect with your soul, the more your world, in your soul world, it becomes kind of merged in with this world in different ways, I guess. Because to me, I can't go out and date anybody else at this point. Even, you know, if people want to. And I know, just like I said earlier, I know I come across as like this, you know, hermit lady who probably is super lonely. And I'm not at all. I'm super happy. And I feel content. I feel like I am productive. I feel like I'm connected. I feel like I'm authentic. Oh, and that was the other thing. This is where I'll wrap it up. Because, you know, where these people want us to stop being ourselves. So I was thinking about this as I was driving to get on the road with the water, is that it is more important for us to be more authentic of ourselves. The more authentic that we can be, becoming our true selves, is the path that we should be on. That's what we want to break free from, is that trying to please other people, because you're not authentic, you're not true, you're trying to please other people, and it is it's toxic way of being, it's a toxic way of interacting, and we will stay in low vibration if we choose to continue those kinds of interactions. You know, it's up to us to raise the bar. It's up to us to change and set the standard. It's up to us to know that we want to live in this more high dimensional kind of state of being, which is about connection. And it's where we feel our best, is when we feel connected. And so that is where we need to just, just keep on everything. Just like I always keep saying, just everything, just keep coming back to yourself of how to continue to work on yourself. And I'm telling you, I've been out here in this round of this, awakening or ascension or whatever, in this round of it. I've been here in this, when we got back from Costa Rica in March of 2019. So almost 2 years of being here and not, because I still was in the HOA for a couple of months. But as soon as it became, no, because as soon as it closed down, everything closed down. And I didn't have friends out here. I didn't know people out here. So, I was just isolated. And in the beginning, my family wouldn't see me. And this may have been something I talked about on Twitter. I don't remember if I ever talked about that on here, because that year I wasn't doing that. I just started doing it this year. Well, last year, because now it's 2022. So 2021 is when I started doing this and more documenting what was going on. But in 2019, that when it very first started, nobody would even see me. I would try and go see them. No, they made me, even when I went for Christmas, I had to be, I couldn't be near anybody. And all the times that they wouldn't see me and they would tell me it was for my protection. They were always protecting me. I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that, that we've been going through all this. But yeah, my isolation, and then, having somebody come and stay with me. But it was also, somebody who hates me, has all those unresolved feelings that I don't know where they come from. She doesn't even know where they come from. I mean, she's got to dig in deeper and figure it out. Like, I can't do anything to fix that. Like, you can be as nice as you can be to somebody, and if all they can do is twist everything to fit their story, so it's what's that projection? They're in for whatever their experience is in this process of awakening. That is part of what the soul is doing, is how it's waking up and who it is offending, and that's all part of the thing of what they need to purge out. They have to be able to see themselves. And I mean, it's hard for me to imagine Ted Royal and I have any kind of soul connection. I still haven't met that friggin' guy. I do wonder, still what's going on next door. Is Ted running the roost out there with his cock-a-doodle-doo? Who knows? It doesn't affect me, obviously. Just like mass death doesn't affect me. We did get the FedEx guy. He finally came, and I saw UPS out delivering. I don't know if they came back here, though. But USPS, I haven't seen them. And out here, Amazon uses them a lot, too. So, in the big old city, then you get the Amazon truck. But we're still on the Amazon, I guess, taking advantage of USPS. I don't know. But anyway, so those kinds of things I was just thinking about, because this is everything that we want to change. It's up to us to change ourselves so that we become the change that we desire for the world that we want. And so just, focus on that kind of stuff. Always bring things back to looking at yourself in the scenarios, especially when you're triggered, and then break free of like our old ways of being. Don't yell at somebody because they're irritating you. Like, pull it in, use your breathing and your calmness and think, what is the energy I want to put out here? Because I really don't want to, do you really want to just send out shitty energy because you're explosive right now, because you're irritated? Or just pull it in, relax, and then it's the same thing as like, what are these people who are in such a hurry? Like, why are people pulling out? And there's so many things that when you stop and think about it, there's no good reason. I mean, why are we always in a hurry? Why do we always have to have things right now? And why do we think everything should be perfect and nobody's ever going to hurt us? And I don't know. So there's going to be, you know, such a period of adjustment for us to begin to change and transfer over to this way, but it all starts with us. And so the more of us that do it, the more it's like it funnels in, like everything kind of works like nature, but like the water kind of funnels in, and it all becomes like we affect everybody else. So when we do it, we're pulling everybody in with us, if that makes sense. So even if everyone around you like is just completely brainwashed and, you know, thinks you're a nut, and they are, you know, want you to go get these and mad at you because you don't do this or whatever, just, what was I going to say? I was really going there for a minute. I think. I don't know. Because sometimes I feel like I will get these enlightenment, like, oh. And then another thing I was thinking while I was driving was, maybe I get the same ones all the time. I don't know. Maybe I come in all the time and be like, oh, I just thought of this. I just thought of this over and over as Groundhog Day. But that's part of a brain injury. So, I mean, it's legit. It's like it doesn't exist. It's, once it goes out of your brain, it's just like there's nothing. It really feels like, I have clothes in my closet, and I'll go in and I'll look at them and be like, oh my gosh, I've got new clothes. I didn't even remember I had these. That's exciting. Like, there's good and bad. But whatever I was saying, just, you know, just every time, all we can do is just work on ourselves. That's the change. That's the change, is working on us, and stop trying to fix other people. Stop trying to make people into what we want them to be, and accept people. And stop judging, and stop judging others, and stop judging ourselves, and to accept ourselves and understand, you know, like, you're not going to shame a kindergartner because they don't know how to tie their shoe. I mean, give your soul a break. So anyways, have a good day. This is just my little shares. So I will talk to you later. Bye.